Good morning students. In last video we discussed what are resources and how to classify them. Now we will start with the topic development of resources. See, resources are very important for the survival of human beings and again in maintaining the quality of life. Resources are actually free gift of nature and probably that is the reason behind not using it carefully and in a very unplanned manner. Hence, it has led to many problems. Number one, depletion of resources for satisfying the greed of few people, few individuals. Number two, concentration of resources is in the hands of few rich or powerful people and they use these resources in a manner to earn more and more profit. Number three, whole of the world is paying for the greed of few people. It has led to the global ecological crisis such as global warming, ozone layer depletion, environmental pollution and land degradation. Hence, resource planning becomes essential for the existence of all life forms. Next is sustainable development. Sustainable development means that development should take place, it should be there, but without harming the nature, and we should think about our future generations also. Here I would like to tell you about Rio de Janeiro's Earth Summit that took place in 1992. Rio is a city, a huge seaside city in Brazil. Brazil is the largest country in South America. You must have heard about the Christ the Redeemer statue that is in Rio only. In June 1992, a major conference of United Nations was held in Brazil. More than 100 heads of different countries met in Rio de Janeiro. And what they wanted to do, that was for having the first International Earth Summit that was also known as UN Conference on Environment and Development, UNCED. This summit was called for discussing urgent environmental problems and thus protection at the global level. The 100 heads, they signed a declaration on global climatic change and biodiversity. This convention approved of global forest principles and adopted a charter called Agenda 21. Now, what is this Agenda 21? I told you a declaration was signed by heads of 100 countries. This was Agenda 21. Its aim was to achieve global sustainable development. This agenda wanted to fight against environmental damage, poverty, disease, hunger and help on mutual interest and needs. One important objective of this Agenda 21 was that every local government should make their own Agenda 21. Now, what does 21 refer to over here in Agenda 21? 21 refers to the original target year of 2021 and they were hoping to achieve this development goals by then. Resource planning. Resource planning in India, there are areas which are self-sufficient in terms of resources and fulfilling their needs while many other have shortage of vital resources. Hence, balanced planning becomes very important at national, state and regional level. Now, it has three main steps. First step is to identify and list the resources in the country. Surveys are done, mapping is done, quantity and quality of the resources is also checked. In this step, a planning is done. What technology or institutional setup is required for implementing the plans of development. In third and final step, matching of resource development plan is there. that is matched with the development plans for the whole country. Land resources. Land is a natural resource of utmost importance. That is the most important resource. It is limited, hence should be used very effectively. We have already read in class 9th about variety of relief features. If you will see this pie chart, 43% is the plain area. It provides industry and agriculture. 30% is the mountain area. Perennial rivers, tourism and industry is there. 27% is the plateau region. It has rich resources of mineral, fossil fuels and forests, etc. Land utilization. Now, land resources are used for the following purposes. Number 1, forest. Number 2, land not available for cultivation. Now, what is this land which is not available for cultivation? Number 1, barren and wasteland. Number 2, land put to non-agricultural uses. Non-agricultural uses where we are not doing agriculture but we are using that land for some other use. Now, what is this barren land? Barren land means the type of soil which is so poor that plants cannot grow in it. So the land is barren. Banjar, if you must have heard about it. And what is wasteland? Wasteland is a land which is put to other non-agriculture uses, which includes rocky, arid and desert areas. Now, continuous use of land for a long period of time without taking appropriate measures to conserve it, it leads to land degradation. After that comes the other cultivated lands, excluding fallow land. Now, what is fallow land? We will discuss later, but other uncultivated land. Now, the land which is not cultivated is used as the land which is normally, when you are going on roads, you must have seen piece of land on the two sides of roads which is not cultivated and which is kept like that. It is not used for farming, but that is burial grounds are there, then parks are there. So this land is not cultivated and it is used for some other use. Fallow land, that is a piece of land we are not using for farming, but that is left with no crop to it and it may regain its natural fertility. Now, you must have seen that farmers, they leave a area of their land fallow. Fallow means they leave it like that only. When crop rotation is there, they leave 25% or 5% of their land without doing any cultivation on that, and they may leave it to regain its natural fertility in a natural manner. Now, we divide fallow land into two parts. One is current fallow, the land which is left for less than one season or less than 1 year, and other is other than the current fallow. Now, other than the current fallow land, sometimes a peasant is not growing anything, he is not doing farming. There may be several reasons, but he is not cultivating anything on the land. So probably the land can be left for 2 seasons, 3 seasons, or 3 years or 4 years. So that is other than the current, that land is fallow, but that land is not current fallow land. Current fallow land, it's just for 1 season or less than 1 year. Now, next is net sown area. We will take an example of net sown area. If a farmer, he is having 100 hectares of land and he is sowing that particular land with crops and orchard in a particular year. So we will say that 100 hectares of land is net sown area. Now, there is one more term with net sown area, that is gross sown area. Now, what is difference between net sown area and gross sown area? Net, I have already told you, if 100 hectare of land is there, that land is cultivated and that is the net sown area. But gross sown area, it is a total area sown more than once in a year. We see many a times a land area is sown twice or thrice a year. So if 100 hectare of land, which is net sown area, but if somebody is sowing it for the 2 times or 3 times in a year, that will become 200 or 300 hectares of the land which is being sown in that particular year. So that land will become gross sown area. Now next is land use pattern in India. The use of land is determined by 2 factors, physical factors and human factors. Now physical factors such as topography, climate, soil type, what kind of land that is, what kind of climate that land is having, and what is the soil type. Is it good for farming, or it is not good for farming, or it is good for some other thing? So that are the physical factors. Human factors such as the density of population, how many people are living in a particular area. We say that in a 1 square kilometer area, how many people are living there? So that is the density of population. Technological capability, what is the technological capability of the human beings? What is the culture of people and what are the tradition of people? So it all decides about the land use pattern in India or in any country. As we have read earlier, total geographical area of India is 3.28 million square kilometers. Over the years, we have seen that land under the permanent pastures have decreased. Forest area in India is approximately 24.56%, which is far lower than the desired 33% of the total forest area, forest cover. So it is very less than that. Now, land degradation and conservation methods. Now, land is degraded due to many reasons. Land is degraded due to mining, human activities like mining, deforestation, overgrazing, quarrying. So it leads to degradation of land. Mining, we will see in Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, MP, Odisha, land is degraded due to mining. And in Punjab, Haryana, Western UP, the places which lies in northern plains, over irrigation is responsible for land degradation. Water clogging is there sometimes, salinity is increased, and alkalinity of the soil is also increased. So land is degraded due to many reasons. Now there are many reasons of land degradation. Now we will see how can we solve the problem of land degradation. Now number 1, first of all, afforestation should be there. A drive to cover the land with trees should be there. That is called afforestation. And proper management of grazing should be there. Number 2, planting of shelter belts of plants. Like if you must have seen in your residential areas, certain plants are planted near your homes, near the roads. So they are the shelter belts. So those should also be planted. Number 3, stabilization of sand dunes by growing thorny bushes. We have seen in desert areas, sand dunes, they keep on moving from one place to another. So if we are growing thorny bushes on them, so the land will be stabilized, or that particular piece of sand dune that can be stabilized. Number 4, proper management of wasteland. The wasteland should be managed properly. Number 5, control of mining services or mining activities. Mining should be there according to the standards which have been given by the government. Number 6, proper discharge and disposal of industrial effluents and waste only after the treatment. That should be there. So like that, we can save the land from degradation. So today we have covered development of resources, how resource planning is done in India, land resources and their utilization, land use pattern in India, land degradation and conservation measures. Hope you must have understood. Rest I will take in next video. Have a nice day.